Alright.
Welcome to my Ascendant multi-class build, you charming bastards. I wanted to create a good Ascendant on its own, but when you play single class Ascendant, you have an issue with getting to the Ascendant status. Simply you're not doing enough damage with weapons so that you could get to that Ascendant status where you can spam spells over and over again. To counter that, you can multi-class with various classes such as Monk, Rogue, Fighter Devoted, Paladin, Bleak Walkers, and I've chosen Ranger to be my multi-class. Why Ranger? Well, I've chosen Ascendant to be a ranged DPS dealer and crowd controller because I feel it's easier to distribute attributes for a ranged character. Simply I can dump Resolve, lower Constitution a bit, and dump everything into Might, Perception, Dexterity and Intellect. That way we can do so much damage that we get to Ascendant status really quickly. I'm using bows, to be precise Frost Seeker, one of the best bows in the game, combined with Ranger's passive driving Flight. That way I'm doing AoE damage and also the projectiles bounce to another enemy. That's how we do most of our damage and that's why we get to Ascendant status quickly. Build should look something like this. Go for Ranger Ghost Heart, so that you don't have to deal with annoying companions. I mean, they are useful, but they die a lot, so it's easier like this, where you don't need micromanagement. If you don't mind micromanagement and Bond and Grief that you'll get eventually, because you just can't keep these bloody things alive, then go for Sharpshooter. For Cipher we are going Ascendant. As race, Hard Orlan is really nice because if an enemy is threatened by your teammate, you can convert some of the hits to crits. This is a squishy build, so Constitution shouldn't be more than 7 or 8 and Resolve should be dumped completely. Might put around 16 so that we can increase the damage done. Dexterity put at maximum. Perception doesn't need to be at maximum. 15 or 16 is enough. Intellect should be higher, 15, 16, 17, your choice. Intellect is important so that when we dominate our opponents, it lasts for a long period of time. Perception is always important so that we can hit with charming spells and also with damaging spells. Dexterity is important so that we can cast faster and shoot faster. Combined high might, dexterity and perception can deal some really nasty damage. For active skills I would suggest alchemy. In this case I would use this drug that is very efficient for this setup. It's called Taruturu Chu. It gives you constitution, might and dexterity. With this you're gonna be more tanky. At level 19 you will have around 300 health with this drug active. So I would definitely suggest that you go for alchemy. Plus you get a lot of might and dexterity bonuses, which is really bloody good. From Ranger active abilities, what you need is upgraded Marked for the Hunt and upgraded Accurate Wounding Shot. That's all. From passives, what you need is Marksman, Two-Handed Style, Driving Flight, Survival of the Fittest, and Improved Critical. These are all a must. Oh yeah, definitely go for Combat Focus as well, but you can choose if you want from this tree or Cipher tree. Uncanny Luck is also good with this setup because due to Hard Orlan we already have as a passive some hit to crit, and when you combine Uncanny Luck it will add more percentages to hit to crit conversion. From the Cipher tree, it comes down to you how you want to play this Cipher. You don't need any offensive spells if you want. You only need then Puppet Master and Ring Leader later on. That's it. With these two you can charm anyone and you're fine. Or you can completely neglect these crowd control spells and just go for offensive ones like Disintegration, Mind Blades and so on. It's completely up to you. What I did here is Mind Blades, Puppet Master, Ringleader, and Disintegration. These are all very powerful spells. Obviously early on in the game you won't have access to all of these. That's when you use Whisper of Treason to charm an opponent and some other offensive spells. As I said, it depends how you want to play this. I've put this as a crowd control / DPS Cipher and it works amazing. From passive ones that are a must, you need Penetrating Visions, Draining Whip to get increased focus gain, Hammering Thoughts, +1 penetration with all weapons, very useful, Far Casting, Rapid Casting, the Empty Soul, very useful for charming spells because charm spells target will. And for the last one I went with Echoing Horror so that I frighten nearby enemies every time I kill an enemy. If you don't like this one, then go for Complete Self. As for the others, go for whatever the hell you want. It really doesn't matter that much, though I would definitely take Iron Will. It gives you +15 will, and because we have low resolve, this will negate that low resolve. I don't consider Greater Focus and Keen Mind really important for this particular build because you'll get to Ascendant status really quickly. As for the rest of the points, go for whatever the hell you want. As for gear, I would suggest some kind of a war bow or hunting bow, anything that you have that's best at the moment. Frost Seeker is especially useful because it gives you a lot of projectiles that you fire, and with Driving Flight passive and with Garland's Rake passive, here you will do AoE damage and it will also bounce to another enemy. You only need 2 shots with this weapon and you'll get to Ascendant status. If you do not have Frost Seeker, then use some kind of a hunting bow and then turn modal ability for hunting bows, which is Rapid Fire. As for the rest, simply buff your stats, spell damage and so on. For armor, use anything light or robes that don't have recovery time. I would still go for light because we are squishy, so light at least gives you some more base armor rating. Frost Seeker can be found on Neketaka Island, over here in this location. There's nothing here because I've already went through it, but this is the exact location. To get to that, just exit Neketaka by foot. Don't exit by sea because you will just get to boat. Now for the combat demonstration. Before the combat, take any kind of drug if you went with alchemy. If you did not, then simply start the battle. If you want, summon your companion, but it's not necessary. Mark your target and start with accurate wounding shot. Do it twice and you should reach Ascendant status. Now it's up to you how you play it from here on out. Ascendant status with this setup will last for about 15-16 seconds, so there's plenty of time to cast a couple of spells. You have with this exact setup 2 choices for offensive spells. One is Mind Blades, another one is Disintegration. Both of them are powerful, but Disintegration can really kill one opponent easily. You don't even have to focus them anymore, and most of the time it will just annihilate that bloody opponent. Charming is the thing that you want to do when you see enemies close to each other. That's when you use Ringleader and you can dominate groups of enemies at once. Or if you want, you can just use Domination on a single target and that will do the same effect. At the beginning of the game you will have Whisper of Treason. In this particular fight I could not charm oozes because they are immune to intellect afflictions. Maybe I could charm them, but I did not try. Either way, there's no need for it. Frost Seeker does plenty of damage. You have plenty of offensive spells and crowd control spells at your disposal. Just fire away until you get to Ascendant status. Spam spells. Fire away until you get to Ascendant status. Spam spells. Game over. As I've already said, this is not the only way to build this. Plenty of ways how to build Ascendant Cipher in Multiclass. It is still a very powerful build with plenty of possibilities, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you all for watching and see you soon.